Right, on to the gym itself, where we should have been able to go from the moment we entered the island. Again, calling him a hothead doesn't feel right, mostly because I'm pretty used to a lot of hotheads in a lot of media that make this guy look tame in comparison. You might say that, but since the game still calls you a burglar, that's all we can really refer to you as. At least the later games in the series would give you a name as well, so we'd be able to try honoring your wish not to be considered a crook, now that you're working for a legitimate group. And oh dear, there's no way that Takanabori isn't gonna be a one Pokemon answer to everything in this gym. And now I feel guilty about drowning the cute little fox when this battle is so one-sided in our favor. Well, unless we run into some actual trouble from here, I don't expect Takanabori to see much more action in this clip. Good job on making it to 138 wins, buddy. Your lead over the others looks pretty firm from where I'm sitting. Doesn't matter how many quick attacks you throw, Garm's winning this slugfest. I know I've said this several times before in this playthrough, but I still have to ask why someone has to say they surrender when they don't have any fight left in them. And who said anything about you stealing Pokemon? It's a good thing we're not actually part of this region's police force, or we'd probably have to do something after you essentially admitted to being a kleptomaniac. I have the distinct feeling that that isn't the right word for feeling the compulsion to steal living creatures rather than inanimate objects, but let's just stick with that. Anyway, the gimmick in this gym is there is some quiz questions that we can choose to do if we want to avoid fighting the trainers in our way for once. The questions are absurdly simple for the most part, and it's not like I feel threatened by the trainers between us and Blaine. I've come to respect the attempt at a gimmick, even if it feels somewhat underwhelming. At the very least, it's better than Surge's luck-based search for a button. Come to think of it, it might have made more sense for Surge to be in Celadon, since his gym had a luck-based gimmick, and Celadon had an outright casino in it. Vermilion was also the town where we learned Cut, but Celadon for some reason had us use Cut while inside the gym. Just some odd decisions there. Am I overthinking things? Apparently, the trainers in the gym all have foxes to make up for the fact that we couldn't find any in the mansion. Well, okay, we would have seen Vulpix just as often as we see Growlithe in this game if we'd done blue version instead of red, but still, kinda felt a little funny. Okay, so this is the second trainer in a row that decided to have his last Pokemon as Ninetales. Have I mentioned the odd lack of variety from trainers, even though there are 150 different Pokemon in the first generation? Which means there are a number of different possible combinations. Bloody hell, this is tiring. And unlike with Karm, I'm not going to be able to erase my exhaustion by going to the Pokemon Center for a bit. As someone who actually likes fire types and fire in general, I'm a little annoyed the writers decided to blah blah this guy. Sure, It probably wasn't going to be anything I didn't already know, but it still would have been entertaining in its own right, and this far into the game, I'll take what entertainment I can get. I'm certainly not going to get anything from the storytelling, that's for sure. How many people have we beaten already that have said something similar? Darn. Was hoping 2 bites would be enough for this win. Ah, well. It's not like this is a close enough fight that it matters that much. Well, at least we'll confirm that Garm is stronger than a Charmander, though I'm a little shakier about a Charmeleon, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't measure up to a Charizard. At least not until we finally use that bloody Firestone on him. Why the hell does a Vulpix have Confuse Ray? Well, that Confuse Ray certainly did some damage, but Garm still managed to tie his score with Neo again, for now at least. And it looks like he's gonna temporarily surpass Neo for now. Doubt that's gonna last for the rest of the game, but nice to know. Right, that's 99 wins for our puppy right now, and he still has room for more wins since he hasn't leveled up yet in this clip. Anyway, just gonna deal with the quiz questions for the hell of it, then move back to the Pokemon Center. The door's already open for us. Great! Now I wish the questions they threw our way were more than just a yes or no thing. Even if we somehow didn't know that rather obvious thing, that doesn't change the fact that these easy answers have such... It's literally just a 50-50 shot here. Hell, I dare say that takes part of the fun out of doing these quiz questions. Though maybe I'm just basing that on the fact that Banjo-Kazooie and Pokemon Stadium 2 had some quiz moments that felt actually reasonably brain-racking. Not that I've gotten around to LPing either of those games just yet, but still. For some reason I was hoping it would be a Rapidash. Still, it's just one level below us. When's the last time we've seen that from an unnamed trainer? Should that make me worried about what Blaine is gonna throw at us when we get to him? Anyway, Garm just leveled up with his 100th win. Feels like a pretty good prize to me. Well, there are a number of Pokemon that are commonly used by thieves. Is that good enough for you? On one hand, I'd really like to make sure everyone stays reasonably close to each other in level, but on the other, Phyllis is just not suited for doing a lot of damage in a fire gym. Seriously, these guys are getting too high leveled for me to feel comfortable ignoring the fact that trying to smother a fire with leaves is a terrible idea. Wish some of these questions would elaborate why an answer is true or false. Of course, that would require that the game asks questions that feel like they belong in a tutorial, or something when we're this many hours into the game. Ugh. Yeah, definitely not a chance in hell I'd want Phyllis anywhere near a level 41 Rapidash. Oh dear, this is going to take a while. He can't do much damage to Garm per hit, but he can paralyze us for a bit. And of course, we miss our first shot at retaliating. This is getting ridiculous! Wait, why did we attack first that turn when I'm sure that Rapidash is faster than Garm? Already starting to regret this decision. Oh god, are we just gonna keep burning until Phyllis drops here? And we finally get the strike back. Pleasant surprise that Phyllis managed to get a win in here. But yeah, there's a reason I wasn't keen on sending him out at all. If anything, it seems Blaine has more of a detailed backstory than any of the other gym leaders we've run into so far. His reason to become a trainer was because he ran into Moltres at some point in his life, and he's been devoted to fire types since then. Very nice bit of backstory. But then the others didn't need explanations for why they started to be trainers. Mostly because this is a world full of Pokemon trainers. If anything, people need explanations to not be one in this world. Again, I know this is the first game in the series, so they didn't have everything solid in their heads just yet. But if we run into any non-trainers in this world, it hasn't been made obvious. And we've explicitly gone up against some trainers that are less than 10 years old. Understandable, but part of me is looking forward to seeing some gyms in another region or two before I start declaring one as my favorite. Well, that's a bit of a relief considering how much trouble that Rapidash gave us earlier. Garm is definitely getting quite a number of wins in this clip. I think Phyllis is safe enough to deal with Fire Puppy that many levels below him. Will he get to level 43 before we get to Blaine? Of course he was burned. So hot that I'm gonna have to head back to the Pokemon Center again. Hell, fire fans tend to like pretty much all fire Pokemon. And since I'm not much of a fan of Moltres, the Pokemon that inspired Blaine, I'm not entirely sure I count as a fire fan even though I like a lot of fire types. I probably mentioned this in a different clip, but Moltres just looks like a generic Phoenix. And I've seen a lot of different Phoenixes in a lot of different games, movies, and shows. Kind of have a high standard for the Firebirds. not sure how many trainers are left in this gym, but I somehow doubt there are too many at this point between us and Blaine. That said, why is it that someone this far in the fire gym decided to tell us fire is weak to water? Again, we are 7 gyms in this game. We should damn well know fire's strengths and weaknesses this far in. Maybe I'm being too harsh since people who didn't have a fire type on their team by the time they got here might not know that much about them, but I'm pretty sure that there were a decent number of trainers before we got to Cinnabar Island that had fire types for us to deal with. Again, Phyllis should be strong enough to win here despite the type disadvantage. I mean, I'm falling asleep at the wheel here even as I talk. Assuming I've done the math right, that makes 121.5 for Phyllis. A very solid number. That would mean something if ice Pokemon were especially common. Unfortunately, water is extremely common, to the point that the ice-themed member of the Elite Four has several water types on her team. Which means if we tried throwing a fire type against her when we get to her... Oh, dear God. Anyway, considering how easily all the other questions we've seen were, that one felt like quite a difficulty spike there. Especially since I'm not the type to memorize just what each TM gives us. I should have figured, though, that it was a no just for one reason, though. Something called Tombstoner would have been an awesome Ghost-type move, and yet I've never heard of such a damn move. Great. Now I'm trying to imagine what a move called Tombstoner would be like, and I'm reminded that the Ghost-type doesn't have that many great moves before they introduce Shadow Ball. Lick is pretty garbage, Curse does damage to the user, Nightshade does damage based on your level but ignores a number of debuffs and buffs. Those are the only Ghost moves I can think of, really. I probably shouldn't be thinking of Ghosts when we're about to fight against the Fire Gym leader. After all, it doesn't seem like there's some kind of quiz thing we can do to gain the badge without having to fight. I'm not even sure why I checked since I wanted to fight this guy. Sorry, but burns just aren't as annoying to deal with as poison. You should have gone with something else to scare us before this battle started than mentioning a status effect. Okay, his first Pokemon is just one level below us. Didn't remember that Takedown had recoil, and now I'm very eager to get Takedown taken off of Garm's move list. Not much of a loss, since again we haven't used it. We've been using Bite so much that it's practically become the signature move of Red Team, even though I think 3 members don't have it. Wait, if a level 42 Growlithe wasn't his weakest, why did he think the level 40 Ponyta would have better luck after? I know there's not really much point in wondering what order the gym leaders send their Pokemon out, but still. Oh dear, I was expecting more from the Fire Gym. Holy shit, was really not expecting Phyllis to actually partake in this battle. And he even managed to add to his score here. And he leveled up! Have I mentioned? Holy shit! Sorry, buddy, but at your size and weight, I'm not sure you really need any more growing. You are amazing as you are. Okay, so the majority of our team was 1 level above 2 out of the 4 Pokemon Blaine has. The final one had better be pretty damn strong. Otherwise, I don't like Giovanni's chances in the next gym. We have not been trying to be over-leveled, but that's where we are in the first game in the franchise. Of course, with Takanabori in the front of the line again, I'm pretty sure that Blaine may as well surrender. Not that he can before his final Pokemon is defeated. And wow, not one person in this gym used a Magmar? Not even the goddamn gym leader? And yeah, that potion isn't gonna do you any good. Was really expecting more from Blaine for some reason, and funnily enough, I do not expect much from Giovanni, especially since we've beaten him 2 times before and he's the last gym leader in the region. Seriously, I know he wasn't fighting in the capacity of a gym leader those 2 times, but it's hard to feel scared of beating a Mafia boss we've already forced into undeniable retreat twice before. Again, I just plain do not feel much this far into the game when I should be feeling more and more challenged. Right, of course both fire types you mentioned are not ones that are on our team. Kind of tempted to give it to Takanabori just to spite the guy, but to be fair, I'm rather satisfied with Taki's move pool, even if Tackle is not getting much of any use anymore. But let's just get rid of the iffy move takedown and get a move on. Oh right, almost forgot. He didn't have much to say, but hey, he's the only character who's been with us every step of the way for each gym. Kind of a shame we don't know his name. So we finally reached the limit for how many items we can store in the PC. I'm actually amazed it took this long. Guess we're finishing this clip off by doing some inventory management. Next clip, we see how Blue Team took care of Blaine, and then we have the next Red versus Blue session. Took less time for us to get to that point than I thought it would, and I suppose I should decide if I'm going to have another Red versus Blue section after we beat the Elite Four as well, or if I'm gonna stop with that once we're done with the 8th gym. I still got plenty of time to decide, but the road from Cinnabar back to Viridian is a lot shorter than the road between Fuchsia and Cinnabar. There's certainly fewer dungeons we have to go through between point A and point B now. Less chance to grind, sure, but at this point I'm feeling kind of over-leveled. The stat-enhancing vitamins probably aren't going to have any real noticeable effect, especially since I'm only using the ones that we happen to stumble across over the course of the game. And I certainly doubt we're going to use Fire Blast all that often when Bite has been doing such a good job. Still, Fire Blast has a notoriously small number of shots, and it's not like I'm going to really rely on Ember to take down anyone this far into the game. Takanabori gets the defense boost, and Phyllis will get the rest. Not really sure why I decided on that. It's just the way my mind took me. Really wish the game would tell us just how much this stat-affecting items are increasing said stat. Or at the very least, say something other than just this stat has risen. Something that gives me a sense how much stronger in that field we've made our Pokemon without having to outright check the stat screen both before and then after using each and every item. Anyway, that should about do it for inventory management. Again, hope everyone enjoyed watching, and holy shit. I possibly should have bought a number of items over the course of the game, since we have an obscene amount of money by now, but again, do we really need the items considering how well we've done without them?